When it comes to deadlifting, using a mixed grip is probably the easiest way you can increase the amount of weight you can hold, besides just using straps. A mixed grip simply requires you use one hand to grab the bar in a pronated grip or overhand grip, and the other hand grabs the bar with a supinated grip or an underhand grip. This simple change can prevent the bar from rolling out of your hands. Gripping the bar this way causes a seemingly small asymmetry in your deadlift setup. The problem is that this asymmetry is not limited to just the hands and wrists. This causes a chain of events throughout the entire body that we're going to cover in this video. The first problem caused by using a mixed grip is that it can cause muscle imbalances, mainly in the shoulders and back. Supinating one hand does not just cause you to change the position of your hand and wrist. It requires external rotation of the entire shoulder. It's not physically possible to supinate your hand far enough to get into a proper deadlift grip position without externally rotating the shoulder. This external rotation of the shoulder may not seem like a big deal, but externally rotating the shoulder is going to affect the length of all the muscles involved in internal and external rotation of the shoulders. Rather than dive into all the muscles involved in internal and external rotation of the shoulder, we're going to mainly focus on the latissimus dorsi due to its size, its strength, and its relative importance in the deadlift. The lats originate on the spinous processes of T7 through L5, the thoracolumbar fascia, the posterior part of the iliac crest, the bottom 3 or 4 ribs, and due to natural variation in human anatomy, about half of people have an origin on the inferior angle of their scapula. Now, from those points of origin, this large muscle runs across the entirety of the back and inserts on the front of the humerus at the bottom of the bicipital groove. Because of this orientation, it's one of the main muscles responsible for internal rotation of the shoulder, which is why it's a muscle of interest in this video. Internally and externally rotating the shoulder is going to change the length of one lat muscle relative to the other. This seems like it would be rather unimportant, but the problem is when you make one muscle on one side of the body shorter compared to one muscle on the other side of the body longer, these two muscles are going to be at different points on the force length curve, which basically means that the same muscle stretched along different lengths has a varying capacity to create force. One of the main functions of the lat is shoulder extension. During the deadlift, it is one of the main muscles responsible for keeping the bar close to your shins and thighs via shoulder extension. If each lat is at a different point in the force length curve, one lat will be able to apply more shoulder extension than the other. This can become a problem in the deadlift if one of your lats is able to apply more force to the barbell, keeping it close to your thighs and shins, while the other lat is unable to, and to let the bar drift away, causing a twisting motion as you ascend on the deadlift. I notice that most lifters who do twist in the deadlift tend to twist towards their pronated hand, which leads me to believe that externally rotating the shoulder puts the lat on your underhand side in a weaker position, allowing it to drift away from your body during the deadlift. In the roughly half of people who have a significant amount of lat fibers attached to the inferior angle of their scapula, this uneven strength is sure to cause a difference in scapular depression, which will definitely exacerbate this twisting problem. Another role of the lats is to aid in spinal extension. Because it has origins on the spinous processes of T7 through L5, this large muscle connects many vertebrae, and it can actually aid in spinal extension. And again, if each of your lat muscles is able to create a different amount of force, this can cause uneven spinal extension during the deadlift. This uneven extension can further compound the twisting caused by the uneven shoulder extension. The final problem with uneven lat strength has to do with its origin points on the posterior iliac crest, the thoracolumbar fascia, and the lowest few ribs, because it assists with lateral flexion. If one lat is applying more force than the other, this will cause the pelvis to rotate towards your stronger side. But if both lats are applying the same amount of force, this will aid in pelvic stability. Because the lats are not the main muscle group involved in many of the movements I've just discussed, it may seem like this whole video is very trivial. However, when this small problem is repeated for thousands and thousands of reps over the course of years and years, this is certain to cause some imbalances. Eventually, these imbalances shape the way you actually perform the lift by affecting all the other muscles involved in the movement. Any small amount of twisting or shifting during a max effort deadlift attempt is sure to make you weaker, simply due to just some unfavorable leverage on one side of the lift. So this is definitely going to hold you back from producing your best strength. This will eventually lead to an imbalance in the size and strength of all the muscles involved in the deadlift because of compensation. These imbalances, along with the act of twisting itself, are likely to predispose you to more injuries. So remember, a mixed grip deadlift does not just affect everything from the shoulders down. It actually affects many things throughout your entire body. Thanks for watching. Have a great dang day.